So before starting this video, I just want you guys to save this video. I'm not going to ask for a like and subscribe. I'm not really going to ask for anything for this video. And just save it, come back in 10 years, and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Like I said, just save this video and see how it goes. Or just I don't know, maybe YouTube might see this video and be like, I'm going to save this and just recommend it 10 years from now. Whatever it is, I hope 10 years, a lot more people will see this. I don't want people to see this now, not as much. Maybe if it hits 100 or 20 people, sure. But if I'm talking about later on in the future, as many as YouTube wants, I don't really care. But for starters, I want to talk about social media in general, and I want to talk about what I think social media will be like, and especially TikTok, YouTube, and all of that. I think for starters, I think TikTok, we're going to have a lot of younger demographics, and we're seeing this a lot now, especially 13-year-olds, 15, 16-year-olds. I feel like right now we're seeing a lot of 17, 21-year-olds, my age group, if that makes sense. I've even seen a lot of 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, so I get it, but here's the thing though, I feel like the TikTok demographics will actually get a lot younger. I feel like it's going to go from 13-year-olds to 18-year-olds, and I feel like that's what TikTok is really built for, those younger demographic people. And simply because it's easier, you can easily do brain rot and do random laziness and all of that stuff. I mean, even how bad TikTok is right now, I do actually think it might get a little better. But with, AI videos and stuff like this, I don't really, I don't know. I'm a little bit mixed in between. But I do think TikTok is going to be a lot more in the brain rot side and a lot more in the weird, I guess, entertainment slash weirdness side, if that makes sense. Which is, there's nothing wrong with weirdness. I'm weird, okay? I react to random videos. I'm weird. People don't like it. People like it, whatever. But I do feel like TikTok is going to be on the weird side. And I feel like it's just going to be on the side where a lot of people is just going to be younger. And because of that, you know how younger people really think when you're 13. You're just thinking as if rationally. So I feel like TikTok is just going to have a lot of that. A lot of, irrational. Did I say rational? No, I mean younger people think irrational, and I feel like a lot of people will think irrationally. Even it doesn't even have to be younger. I feel like a lot of influencers on TikTok will be a lot more irrational than rational, if that makes sense. But overall, I do think that TikTok is going to stay, and I think it's just going to stay simply because people is going to like it, the newer generation is going to like it. The newer generations will always like shorter videos, and I absolutely do think that. And I do think, there will be a lot more a lot more influencers on TikTok than any other platform. Or sorry, no, I lied. I actually think it will be a lot less, if not probably none at all in the next 10 years. And simply because, again, TikTok is not meant for you to grow as if growing. TikTok is meant for you scrolling. You like someone? Follow. Done, right? It's not like YouTube where it's you're oh, I want to watch the next video. TikTok is just scrolling. And I think TikTok is going to be something like that. Even though right now we're seeing a lot more TikTok people where they're promoting their Twitch, I guarantee you in the next 10 years, that's not going to work out. And you would have to do it some other way. And that's really what I really think. And simply because I notice how younger people just a lot of times don't care and just scroll down. And even then, if my predictions is correct, if the younger audience, a lot younger, I'm not talking about 21-year-olds, I'm talking about 13 and 9-year-olds, when a lot younger people join TikTok and stuff like this, I feel like they will, use that brain rot content, whatever. But overall, I think TikTok is just going to be a lot more for the younger demographics and just a lot more for pretty much in general. And a lot less more of, just promotional. It's weird, I know, but I do see a sudden shift like that. I mean, for brain rot content, there'll be a lot more, obviously, and that's what I'm saying. TikTok, you're just scrolling, someone follow. It's literally, that's it. You may not even know who the hell you follow and just, go on your day. I mean, I do that all the time, basically. Now, for Instagram, I mean, for starters, Facebook. I'm just going to start on Facebook. I've never went on Facebook ever in my life, but I do feel like Facebook is just going to be same old Facebook, right? I think Facebook is going to be more of, families, people with, just whatever. I don't think it will be on the influencer side. it's going to be Facebook. There's nothing to say. It's not like as much as TikTok. I will say a lot of people could probably post up like their achievements, their whatever. Facebook is literally meant for you to post whatever, kind of like Instagram, but a little bit different. Whereas like it's on the family friendly side, a lot more. You know, people have families, people have friends out there. You know, just communicate with each other. Facebook is one of those things where it doesn't really have influencers, and I don't think it will ever have influencers. And simply because you might have 100,000 followers, you won't really count as an influencer. And simply because most people just follow because, you know, they liked one certain photo or something like that, it's easy to get followers on that. But other than that, really, Facebook, it just really meant for families. I don't think it will have any brain rot content. I really do that. Think it won't. I think it might actually have a lot more fake content, if that makes sense. Like, for example, someone could do like an AI video where they could be like, hey, I catch this fish, this giant, even though it's fake and stuff like that. But I do feel like, you know, Facebook won't really have a lot more influencers, but will have a lot more of just random people doing random things, and they could have millions of followers and all of that. I mean, at the end of the day, Facebook is Facebook, so I don't really know. I'm not on there too much. X, I do believe X is going to be, I think, one of the only platforms will probably have a political view. Like Blue Sky, for example. I don't know about Blue Sky. It's really recent, but I do feel like X is going to be more on the politics side. I mean, especially what we see now, I think that's not going to change, right? I do think X will always be X, and I think X will always be there. Like, seriously. But, damn, dude, the room is hot. I gotta turn on the fan. Do I look good on it? Probably. But no, I think X is just going to be X. Political, couple families, couple whatever, moving on. X is going to be X. Again, I don't have really a lot of things to say on these platforms, but yeah, X is just going to be X. I mean, the only thing that might change on X is probably... I think a lot more influencers will be there on X, like legitimate influencers. And like we've seen this, like, you know, 2016. I think even Brian and Stewie said to Brian, you know, unless you're an influencer, nobody cares. And honestly, I think X is going to be like that. But I do think it's going to fall more on the political side. And I do think X is going to have somewhat of an influencer side. I don't really know. I'm not really on there. But I do feel like it won't really have a lot of, you know, brain rot content. Maybe one or two then and there. But I do think X is just going to be X. Unless if Elon Musk, you know, does... I mean, he does a whole bunch with AI. So I might change my answer to, I think it might have a lot. I mean, simply because Elon Musk is literally promoting everything on X. And also it has, I think, video games and stuff like that. So again, I don't really know 100%. I'm not on there too much, but I don't know. I wish I can, like, I wish I can just, like, inform something, but I just don't know for sure. So X, I'm just going to be honest, I think X is just going to be the same old X, besides a whole bunch of TikToks. I do have one thing. X is going to be the only platform I believe will have a lot more AI influencers, and I think the reason is because I do feel like it's easier for you nowadays to make an AI profile, pick app, whatever, pretend it's you and something like that, and just create random sceneries, random whatever that kind of creates that AI persona, if that makes sense. So I do think that AI influencers will be in X a lot more. I 100% do. I'm not entirely 100% sure. Again, I'm only doing this simply because I'm just like looking at the social medias. I'm always off topic, and my entire theories are always like off the park. So again, I do not know. But yeah, X is X. I do think X will have a lot of AI stuff, a lot of things. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, with Blue Sky, I think Blue Sky will be Blue Sky. Same thing with X. Blue Sky, I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. Snapchat, again, I don't know. Moving on, let's see, Instagram. Instagram is going to be a little bit different. I do feel like there'll be a lot more influencers on Instagram. I mean, there'll be a lot more influencers on Instagram, 100%. I feel like a lot of the people who will be on Instagram, again, will be like influencers and stuff like this. Again, I feel like influencers, is going to have like it's going to be probably the #1 job out there, to the point where you might even see it in a logic, not a law degree obviously, but like in a degree in general. I know it sounds crazy, but I do feel like one day they're going to be like, you're going to have a degree in order for you to be an influencer, and I feel like that's what's going to happen. And I do feel like Instagram, I don't know, maybe you have to have a degree to be on Instagram or something. I don't know. I see this on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I see it, you have to do it on YouTube. I'm being legitimate serious, 100%. But Instagram, I feel like it's going to be like TikTok, except it would be like for people who's 20 to 30, or probably single people, and people who just have crazy wild things. We see a whole bunch of crazy stuff on Instagram, and I don't think that's ever going to change. But I also think about Instagram, what's going to happen is I feel like a lot of the people, again, will be influencers, but I'm not talking about like, a few million, like a million or two, like we see now. I feel like Instagram, we're going to have people who has 40 million, 50 million followers. It will be so common in the future. And I think the reason is because I think Instagram is one of those platforms where you actually build an audience, and it's just family. It's not really family friendly, but it's more like it's there. Where Instagram, I feel like it's just you building an audience. You know how Cristiano Ronaldo and all. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be something like that, where you're just there having fun, and it's more of a connective fan base. And I feel like Exo might be that in some way, but for some reason I feel like Instagram could be something like that. With AI content, I actually feel like it's going to be a lot more as well. Unfortunately, it's just like TikTok, except Instagram will just be ruled more on influencers and stuff like this. And yeah, that's personally me. For YouTube and Kick and Twitch. Now here's the thing. I really wish I can say something positive on Twitch, okay? I think in the future, one of them will be alive. And I do feel like it will be Kick. I think Kick will be the only platform in the near future out there. And the reason is because they pay well. They pay per hourly. Obviously, I don't want to do, Kick. Obviously, they pay well, but I don't want to do it because of the money. I just want to, do YouTube for passion, and like do stuff for passion. But I do feel like Kick will be one of those, platforms, and the only platform for live streaming as well. I think they will pay well. Like I said, like Kick is one of those platforms where I do think that there is going to be more people on Kick than Twitch. I think to the point where I don't really see Twitch in the near future. Obviously, the CEO is killing off Twitch. I actually have a theory that the CEO will either nearly kill off Twitch or kill off Twitch. But when I say nearly, I mean nearly to the point where, Twitch will be dead and you can't really revive it. And I don't think it's for money or anything. I legitimately think it's because maybe, there's too many bad people in there, and they, people have to stop watching and something like that. But I do see that Twitch in general probably disappearing in the near future. Like, I really don't see Twitch, like, I don't see it there. I do see Kick, being alive and well. And I do see it because also a lot more respected people becoming, on Kick, going to Kick and stuff like that. So personally, that's what I think, like Asma Gold and people like that. And yeah, personally, Kick, I think it's going to be alive. I don't think Twitch will be here. I really don't. If there is, woo, I'm wrong. Let's go. But yeah, if Twitch is there, I will admit this, okay? I think Twitch, if it's still there, I think it will be more for starting on YouTube. It's like starting on YouTube. It's like it will be more on I don't know. Let me think about this for a sec. If Twitch was there, I think it would be more on I've been thinking about it, and it would just be more like on, people who start out on like live streaming or starting out on just anything. I feel like Twitch probably could be something like that. It could even be something like, with younger demographics. But I don't really see Twitch being alive. I see a lot more people going on Kick and all of that. But here's the thing, with even AI and stuff like this becoming, near existent in the near future, I feel like AI will probably exist, like AI live streams and stuff like this. Imagine like you seeing Asma Gold. That's not Asma Gold, it's, AI. Or you're seeing me and you're thinking it's me, and it ain't me, it's AI. Like, you know, it's a scary world we live out here, you know what I'm saying? But no, I do think Kick will stay alive, and I think Twitch, if it somehow is alive, it will attract more of the younger demographics, you know, like, I think 16-year-olds, when you know, people who start out live streaming, around there. So, yeah, with YouTube, okay, I saved the best for last. Thank you. Oh my god. So, YouTube, let's talk about it. Longest video in the channel, 15 minutes. Hold on. Let's wait. 15 minutes! Let's go. But honestly, YouTube, for starters, I think a lot of people who's influencers, people who really have a passion on videos, people who, I think YouTube will be there. And I actually think there will be a lot more smaller influencers. You're going to say, no shit, you know, no. But what I'm saying is, like, it's going to be one of those things where you may have 10,000 followers or 20,000 followers, something like that, but you could still earn a living. And I feel like YouTube will always be something like that. I feel like YouTube will also be more of, you know, I don't see it more of like, let's go live on YouTube. It's more of one of those things where it's like, let's make a good video. That's YouTube for you. I think YouTube will always be healthy and strong with shorts and stuff like this. I do also see AI content. Now, honestly, I don't really have much to say, but I do think that YouTube will outline, just pretty much stay the same. I do see a lot of changes though. I mean, for starters, I feel like a lot of like the online streaming services, yeah, that's what it's called, streaming service, like Hulu or whatever. I actually do see it dying off a lot more, simply because, again, we're earning less. So, like, as an economy, I don't think it's gonna do well in the near future. We're gonna earn less. A lot more people's gonna watch less movies and stuff like this. And I think a lot more people is going to be like, well, let's just watch YouTube. And I think that's how YouTube is gonna grow even more in the future. I think in a result to the point where I feel like a lot of people is going to be like, or a lot of companies are going to be like, wait a minute, if people's gonna watch more YouTube, what if we put our movies for free on YouTube? It's happening now, but I think it's gonna be a lot more. Imagine Naruto for free or something like that. So I generally do believe that, and I think it might happen in the future. With YouTube, I also think there's going to be something called a retirement button. Hear me out. So if you guys don't know, if you want to make a YouTube channel, you always have to make an email, right? Either a Google email, whatever it is. I think it has to be a Google email. But for me, I made a Google email. Obviously, a lot more people have Google emails. Anyways, moving on. So I think you have to make a Google email to go on, you know, YouTube, right? What if YouTube adds a feature where you press the retirement button and pretty much it unlinks the Google email and it just makes YouTube its own separate account? For the rest of its life, that YouTube channel will always be there, even without an email, and it will just be monitored by maybe like a certain AI or something like that. I think it could happen. I mean, for starters, there's a lot of YouTubers out there who either, you know, retired or passed away, and if they had that feature, right, I feel like that channel could, you know, exist long term and like for a very long time too. Imagine AI, you know, like tracking if the account got hacked or something, and I think that could happen. If not, I can see it like in the near future. Hell, maybe I'm recording this video and YouTube watches this and be like, oh, that's a genius idea. Thank you. We'll add it. But overall, I do think YouTube is going to do a lot of changes. I do think companies might go even on YouTube. People might watch, you know, Hulu and stuff like this. I also think that YouTube ads is going to be a little bit different. I think with YouTube ads, I'm not talking about like, you know, Google Play or like Google ads or something like that. I'm talking about like ads on YouTube, right? I think ads on YouTube is going to be, nowadays we see a lot more, but I think it might go like a little bit less, if that makes sense, but at the same time more, meaning like you could probably have a 30-second unskippable ad or something like that. Or at the end of the day, I do think maybe, you know, in the next 10 years there could be like, let's change the way we make money. Whatever it is, it's gonna change. I even think monetization will change in the next 10 years and stuff like this. And I also think YouTube, especially YouTube, I think is going to have some sort of digital ID in the near future. And I think a lot of social medias will. I think that's going to be the new norm. But I do think in the near future, we will have digital ID, especially on YouTube and stuff like this. Now, here's the thing. I've talked all about, everything, right? From TikTok to YouTube. And I do want to say one more thing on YouTube. I might also see probably like a lot less, AI content on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm not entirely 100% sure, but, it's there. Whatever. Whew. Well, yeah, like I said, my throat burns because I literally kind of like hiccuped and then all of a sudden it just burned. So, yeah, that's how the human body works, I guess. But no, I do think YouTube is going to have a lot less AI content, if I'm being real with you guys. I don't know if it's going to have like maybe less AI content, but more channels or something like that. I'm not entirely 100% sure, but I do think that AI content will exist a lot less on YouTube than in any other platform out there. Again, with influencers, I really do see a general rise of influencers, and I don't think influencers we see now is celebrities. Mr. Beast. If you have 100,000 subscribers, you could be a celebrity, technically, right? There's 100,000 people watching you, maybe 3,000-4,000 people like watching you daily. Obviously, in that some sort, I guess you could be a celebrity. I don't know. But pretty much whatever it is, I think influencers is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be like teachers, if that makes sense. No, that does not make sense. No, I don't know how to explain it, but really what it is I feel like influencers will somewhat change, where I think we're going to have like a higher up, like for example, Mr. Beast be the top and the bottom could be whatever. Obviously we see this now, but what I'm talking about is like something about influencers is going to change, and I can't really explain it because I haven't really seen any signs to explain it, but it's going to change. It's influencers is going to change. And like I said, I don't know how to explain it because I haven't seen, again, any signs to explain it at all whatsoever. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the only signs I can really say is like we're seeing a lot more influencers where they have 10, 20,000 subscribers, but they still earn a ton of money and live off, YouTube and stuff like that. And I feel like that's what's going to happen in the future, where we might see a lot less people who have, let's say, millions of followers. I think we're going to see a lot more people who have 500,000, 300,000, 100,000. And I think the only reason is because there's going to be a rise of, influencers and stuff like this. So again, I'm not going to be shocked, but here's the thing. I'm going to predict this in the future too. I feel like in the next 10 years, we're going to have someone who reaches 1 billion subscribers. Hey, I hope I'm one of them. I'm just saying, maybe my pride is gonna get there. No, I'm kidding. But I don't think Mr. Beast will. It's crazy, but I don't think Mr. Beast will hit 1 billion subscribers. I do see probably Mr. Beast maybe hitting 900 million, 800 million, maybe even like 950 million. I don't know. But I think, if Mr. Beast is there next 10 years, I do feel like he will hit 1 billion, 100%, right? But if he, let's say, retires and says, you know what, I'm done, I think either I Show Speed might hit it, because he's on 50 million and he could reach higher, I'm just saying, or someone we don't know right now hits 1 billion subscribers. And how much subscribers do you think I'll get in the next 10 years? I don't know. I don't know. Wild guess. I hit 1 billion. Who could have guessed? No, I'm kidding. But overall, I don't know. Maybe we're gonna hit 1 billion. Who knows? I'm kidding. I literally don't know. But like I said, I don't know. But I do think that, content creation is gonna change overall, and that's really my theories on how it is gonna change. Like I said, maybe, I don't know, maybe Mr. Beast can hit 1 billion. I don't really see him hit 1 billion, simply because I really do see him like say, guys, I'm retiring. Been a long journey. Talk to you later. Peace out. Boom. Done. Gone. I do think someone else will hit 1 billion. And I do. And the simple answer is I don't think Mr. Beast will stay here long. I feel like he's going to have a kid, going to have a family. I think he's going to, I think he's going to be like, you know what? I need to stay home. I need to relax. Goodbye, YouTube. Thanks a lot. I don't know. I see him really like quit on the 500 million. Not 500 million, but because he's close to 500 million. So like 800 million, 900 million at least. And I think the reason is because, you know, Mr. Beast is Mr. Beast. And I feel like he will one day, you know, retire. But I do see this. I do feel like if he does hit 1 billion, I think he might go, we did it, guys. I'm retired. But other than that, I don't know. I'm always going to watch Mr. Beast content even if he leaves. And honestly, like a lot of great YouTubers, a lot of people have families, have stuff like this, and they just move on. Personally, I hope I can be in the next generation on YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, my plans on YouTube is talk right now because I have nothing to do. After talking, I do random challenges. Okay? That's all I'm saying. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got to say. I'm just going to screw it. I know I said in the beginning of the video, like and subscribe. I know I said I'm not going to ask. Why not? Okay? But yeah, what do you guys think might happen in the next 10 years? You guys think I'm right? You guys think I'm wrong? Whatever. With like stuff like ads and stuff like this, like I said, I do feel like ads will grow less, but I also feel like it's going to grow more at the same time where, you know, it's weird. Maybe we might have like 30-second unskippable ads, but let's say we have 3 of them or something like that. I don't know. There's going to be a balance. I know that for sure. You know, human beings takes a long time to know the balance, and 10 years is plenty. Promise. I mean, listen, I will say this. I do feel like Naruto or I do feel like TV shows and series and stuff like this will be on YouTube. And instead of paying for it, I feel like we're going to watch it for free. And I think that's the beauty on YouTube is you can do anything. And because we can do anything, it's going to actually limit a lot less movies and stuff like this. I mean, if you haven't clicked off the video, I might just say this. I will say one thing. I think a lot of movies will die out. I really do. I think a lot of series will die out. And not the way you think. It's not. I think they're going to be a lot less more on... Because we have AI now, and most people can create AI content now. I feel like a lot of series and movies will be directly on AI. And, you know, who knows? Maybe we could watch an entire anime of a guy who doesn't know how to draw. Okay? Make an entire full series of anime. Okay? With AI in the near future, 20-minute videos, okay? And just start, you know, making a successful series. Boom, you got something. I mean, like I said, with AI, everything is like limitless. I don't think it's going to be all brain rot. Obviously, I do see YouTube more of a, you know, an infinite possibility. And I do see YouTube, a lot more companies might go on YouTube for certain things. I'm not entirely 100% sure. I mean, hey, I'm on 27 minutes, so I might as well just yap around what I might think social media will be like. So I know I wanted to end it at 20, literally 3 minutes ago. So why not just yap a little bit? Feel free to click off. Yeah, I'm just going to keep on yapping. But pretty much I do feel like the whole, you know, digital ID, for example, anything like that, I do feel like it's going to be a lot more promising on YouTube, a lot more promising, especially on YouTube, on X. A lot more people on X. I think the reason is because X is going to have a lot more political stuff, and you might have to have, you know, digital ID to access these things or stuff like that. But I do see more and more stuff is going to happen like this. With stuff like, you know, digital ID, with, you know, whatever, I don't know, but I do want to talk a little bit of digital ID. I didn't want to do that in this video, but I started yapping a lot, so let me just explain. I think digital ID 100% will be necessary. Either you're driving a car, you're shopping. It's kind of like the mark of the beast in the Bible. I do think in some ways or forms, it's going to be the mark of the beast. I don't know. Again, I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea. But I do feel like the mark of the beast or whatever, I do feel like, you know, digital ID will be right here in order for us, you know, to watch something, in order for us to do something. And in a weird way, you know, I feel like that's going to help either the community, you know, just anything like that at all. I'm not really going to defend anything or, you know, do whatever, but I do just feel like digital ID is just going to be something where it's going to be necessary to watch videos. Maybe for safety, I don't know. I don't think it's safety. I don't want to have digital ID whatsoever. I think it's a dumb idea, okay? But whatever it is, I do think digital ID will be necessary. I think it's going to be pushed 100%. Not like, oh, it's a secret agenda. It's literally because we're heading to the modern day. It's obvious like that. So I think in the next 10 years, we could see some digital ID, but not so much as if forced. Maybe like, hey, we have it. If you're willing, try it. But I think in the near future, it will be, somewhat, trying to like force it on people and stuff like this. But other than that, I don't know much about digital ID. I might talk about digital ID in the next video. Again, 99% sure. Again, I'm just trying to be really relaxed here because I'm like trying to get all my thought process through this video. But it's an interesting one. With that all being said, the conclusion of this entire video is I feel like there'll be a lot more, influencers and a lot less, AI stuff. I mean, we're seeing it now. People have 10K, 20K, 30K, earning a living. Awesome. Cool. Peace out. Take care. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.